What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to make a video about my journey through the different ways of eating I've been through. So, from kind of standard American diet to paleo to keto to carnivore to animal based, and where I'm at now, which I would say is animal based with carb consideration, is what I call it. So, I will definitely discuss that. So, my history when I was in grade 8, grade 9 ish, that's when I was like really overweight. I was pushing like 200 pounds. Not, eat a lot of fast food, a lot of candy, a lot of garbage, and was definitely not happy with my body weight. Towards the end of high school, I started to cut out just a lot of fast food, lost the weight that way. Still was not eating healthy per se, just cut out a lot of fast food, I would say. And then through my early 20s, absolutely no consideration for my health. I mean, drinking, a lot of smoking weed. You know what it's like when you got the munchies and you're eating. My friends used to call me Million Bagels because I could go to Tim Hortons and get a million bagels and eat them all, or a million donuts or whatever it was. Like I had this reputation for like eating a lot of food and like my weight fluctuating a lot. So I would say when I was about, let's say 24, yeah, about 24, like 6 years ago, that's when I really started to get into health and nutrition as a means of dealing with my own depression and anxiety. I will talk about that more. I did write a blog post about that, but I think it could be helpful to discuss that in video form. So I was looking for an alternative means to deal with my depression and anxiety, and I started eating healthy and exercising and taking some supplements. Within a very short amount of time, I noticed a huge difference. And that's what made me so passionate about this lifestyle was that it was the only thing that made a consistent difference in my mental and physical health, and continues to this day. I mean, I haven't had a really extreme, like depressive episode or panic attacks or anything like that in like over 6 years. So I basically went from kind of standard American diet to a more of a paleo diet. I didn't do it for too long. I definitely noticed a lot of benefit, but I was still kind of young and I still hadn't put my health first, I would say. Like let's put it that way. I would still cheat and I would still go out and be drinking and smoking and whatever else at that time. I tried keto once about 2.5 years ago for I think it was only about a couple months for sure, a couple months. And I wasn't educated about it. I was eating like just canned fish all the time and like I don't know, avocados and a lot of bacon and whatever, right? And like still cheating too, and like it just never really fully caught on with me. And then I kind of went back to more of a paleo-ish with cheating again. And then I discovered more information about keto, really started diving into it, and a lot of it just really made sense, kind of from an evolutionary standpoint. A lot of talk about agricultural or Neolithic revolution, farming, yada yada. We wouldn't have had access to grains, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, maybe we shouldn't be eating as many carbs as we are. And I stuck with keto, and that was kind of at the beginning of my current journey, going back to I think it was May 2018 is when I started. So coming up on 2 years. And of course, when I first started, I was using classic processed keto foods. I call them transition foods now because I really do believe there is a benefit to them, especially for people who are transitioning from a standard American diet, who still have sugar cravings, who need that, processed bit of whatever it is, the keto cookie, the keto protein bar, whatever, the keto pancakes, like all that stuff to just stay on track. And I do believe there's application there. I do think people overdo it, and I made a blog post about that too, actually. I'll link to my blog below. I haven't been keeping up on it because I'm more focused on videos right now. So I stuck with that for a long time. I definitely dropped a lot of weight initially. I actually went from about 170 pounds to 145, I think, within like a month. So that's about 25 pounds of weight loss, not fat loss. A lot of it was water weight for sure. That's also when I was doing OMAD, which is, throwback to the last video I made there. But I wasn't feeling super, super healthy. Like, I was feeling good in comparison to certainly standard American, marginally better than paleo potentially, but I was still cheating for sure. It wasn't really up until I'm coming up on 1 year of carnivore-ish, animal-based in March, so that's like 2 months away. And it really wasn't until then that I was directed in kind of my goals and how I was eating with like very little cheats. I certainly feel the best that I felt throughout this whole past like 5 or 6 years. And that's coming from someone who, like, in that 5 or 6 years, I would say is more health conscious than the majority of the population. When it comes to carnivore, I do have, I don't want to say mixed opinions. Again, I think it's like an amazing tool. I think everyone should try it, at least for an elimination diet perspective. I do firmly believe that meat is probably the most benign in terms of food sensitivities, allergens, toxins, etc., etc., like anti-nutrients. Like, it really is probably the safest food to consume if you get high quality grass-fed, grass-finished meat. The only issues I have with it are, I think it's difficult for people to do long term. It's very limiting, obviously. It can be difficult in social situations. I think if you're making it work and you're loving it, I'm ecstatic for you. Honestly, I'm still going to be ingrained in this carnivore community, far into the foreseeable future. I cannot see myself not being animal based. I'm going to be animal based for the rest of my life. I mean, unless there's some serious evidence that comes out, which I don't think there's going to be, but hey, who knows? That's one of the things I love about health and nutrition and food and everything. Things are always changing. There's always new information coming out, and it's really exciting. But some of the things I took away from it are that meat is healthy. I used to be the person that was, even when I thought I was health conscious, that was eating chicken, lean meats, and I would avoid red meats, and I was eating lots of salads and raw greens and this and that. And I've done a complete like 180 on that. I'm now of the mindset that if you like vegetables, eat them in moderation, cook them all, don't eat them raw, but focus on animal foods. Bottom line, do I think we should eat just animal foods? If it works for you, sure. I do think that we can thrive on them. I do think nose to tail is the way to go. Just muscle meats may cause some issues. That remains to be seen. So that's where I'm going to stay, is animal based. And then where I'm at now is I'm doing a bit of experimentation with carbs. I'm calling it like carb consideration, meaning that all carbs are not the same, just like all fats are not the same and all proteins not the same. I'm not going to be shoveling in donuts and bread and candy and whatever else. There's basically a few things that I'm going to be using for carb sources. It's going to be fruits, it's going to be starchy vegetables, it's going to be honey, and potentially white rice. Potentially. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think I'm going to do an experiment and see how that goes. But that's basically it. And it's going to be planned around my workout times, on days, again, on days that I work out, on days that I'm active. I think there's some benefit there. I don't think carbs are necessary. I do think they can be beneficial depending on context. I will definitely do a video on that and a report on that, maybe on my Instagram. But yeah, that's kind of my journey. It's ever evolving and it's super exciting. I love seeing how I feel on different foods and experimenting, and like it's super exciting. And I recommend everyone to try it. Just learn what works best for you. There is no one size fits all when it comes to diet. And yeah, cool. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Enjoy your day.